Israel and Hamas are at war. But as children of God, what we need to think about in this particular time is what scriptures tell us about these wars. Now, I have something important to show you about the war between Israel and Hamas. I believe that what's happening right now in the Middle East is telling us, or is hinting to what's about to take place in the coming years. I believe we are in the last days, and we are seeing Armageddon, or the very last war that will take place on earth, begin to unfold, or the preparations to it. Beyond any conflict between nations, there is a spirit that is deceiving the nations, turning nations against nations, and causing all these tensions. The Bible tells us in the book of Revelation chapter 20 verse 3 that the devil in the end was bound because he was deceiving the nations. Now, in what way does the devil deceive nations? You know, what does that have some kind of relationship, or what does that have anything to do with the war in the Middle East? We know he's the deceiver, and the Bible tells us that in the end, all the nations of the world come against Israel to try to defeat him with the Messiah. Now, what that verse says was unthinkable centuries ago, because many people around the world believed in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They believed in the God of the Jews. You know, even the Muslims that Israel is facing right now, themselves belong to an Abrahamic religion, meaning that they believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now we find ourselves in a place where we are asking ourselves, where is God in all of this? Well, my friends, you need to know, whether you are in Israel or you are outside of Israel, there is a deceiver of nations, and his goal is to turn nations against nations, to fulfill the prophecies of these end time. He is a deceiver. He comes to destroy. He comes to break what God has already built. There's two ways in which the devil deceives nations. Number one is through violence. Remember Noah. The Bible says that in the times of Noah, God wanted to judge the world because there was too much. The earth was filled with violence. Number two, it's immorality. Immorality, I can't tell you enough about immorality today. We see it. Governments are basically supporting and sponsoring the spread of immorality through other nations. And we can even see in Israel, the Holy Land, we can see people who believe in sodomy, with people who practice sodomy. All these ideologies are taking hold on the Promised Land. We can see rainbow flags in Israel. So that means these movements are already moving towards the people of God. These are the very sin that caused God to cast out the other nations that were on that land before. Now, as children of God, we have to increase in discernment to understand how the deception of the enemy works. The enemy can play double agent. He can deceive the Israelites to make the wrong decisions so that their public image will be destroyed. But he can also deceive the Muslim world to turn them against Israel, so that in that hype of opinions and feelings and hurdles, people rise and wars begin, and people hate each other. Nations begin to align with other nations to come to war. And what we are seeing right now is the fulfillment of many biblical prophecies and many things that were predicted. And we are seeing the end times unfold. And as a child of God, we must not only pray, but we must also rise to the level of being of understanding scriptures and discerning what's taking place. Not necessarily begin to take sides, but we need to begin to pray. You know, not only for the nation of God, but pray also for the world, because the devil is deceiving. The deceiver of nations is at work. Remember, Revelation 23, the deceiver of the nations will be bound. And right now, he's at work. And what we see happen around us is the very work of that deceiver. I hope this blesses you. God bless you.
Curious about the Bible or navigating life's twists and turns? Your questions are a doorway to knowledge and understanding. Share your thoughts below, and let's embark on a meaningful discussion. And for daily inspiration and insights, be sure to follow Prophet Daniel Senga on social media. Let's walk this path of discovery together.